Grace and peace, family. Grace and peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. My at hotel. Namaste. Free the land, beloved. Come on in, come on in, come on in. My name is Vicki Dillard, and I'm here with the Vicki Show on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated people just like you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the broadcast. We're so pleased that you have joined us today. I do have a ritual that as you come in, please come in giving us a big thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like and be sure to share the broadcast. We ask that you do that, beloved, because it makes it more likely that other folks will know that we are here. And how many of you all know that that's so very important because the powers that shouldn't be, they're modern false prophets have has a monopoly, yes, on media, which is one of the primary ways to control the masses. Are y'all hearing me? I said it's one of the primary ways to control the masses. Now, family, I want us to get into this very, very briefly. What I want to talk to you all today about your Oprah Winfrey. Somebody put some vegetables in the chat. You look so pretty. Oh, thank you. Goldie Moore says, I'm a day one on YouTube. Oh, bless you, beloved. Love the hat. Thank you so much. Guess what? My hat is actually from this beautiful sister by the name of, I believe it's, I don't know, I hope I pronounced it right. It's Nana Aku, one of my Vicki Nation supporters. So I got this lovely package in the mail. Look, y'all, along with this, I got this Kenyan fedora. It's a Kenyan fedora. Ain't this beautiful? Along with my beautiful ring and bracelet set. And Nana Aku Opata, I believe that's her name. So big shout out to her with her Majestic Meditation Wellness Center. She sent me this beautiful gift, and it's actually handmade Kenyan fedora and ring and bracelet combo by the indigenous women of the Maasa women. I hope I said that right. Maasai. And she said, as a small token and appreciation of your fortitude, intelligence, comedy, style, and grace. Isn't that amazing? You all are so, so, so good to me. And so I just wanted you all to know that your gifts are blessed 1,000-fold. And you all know how I love my hats, your sister with the curly braids. And so I got these big, big puffy braids today. So I said, let me put it back and let me just pimp my Kenyan fedora with my matching jewelry that was sent to me by my beautiful supporters. I am so blessed and lucky to know you all. So thank you all so much. Thank you. They're saying it's beautiful. So, and of course, so many of you give me different kinds of digital gifts and in my beautiful P.O. box. So thank you all so much. Somebody say, you look fly, FLY. Yes, on Fly Nubian Queen. Somebody talk black to me. So a big, 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 big thank you. So you all did this. So that's why I wanted to briefly say that. So thank you for mentioning that. And I wanted to give her a beautiful shout out. Family, everybody, on the count of three, for those of you that haven't, please hit that thumbs up button, would you? For those of you that haven't, please hit that thumbs up button. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I'm basically wanting to come to give you just a report because I will update you more in the near future. If you all know, somebody just said in here a minute ago, Vicki, I'm one of your day ones. Well, if you're one of my day ones, you all know I was gone for most of last year on the network here at Fly Nubian Queen. And I give content, disperse my content on multiple platforms, right? So you all, so I'm not just in one place or one space, but I missed most of you for most of 2022. So I am back. I've been here for the past several months, reestablishing myself with the beautiful family here. So welcome if you are new. But I'm bringing this up because someone said a minute ago that they're one of my day ones. If you're one of my day ones, then you are well aware that I coined the phrase LOM. Somebody put LOM in the chat. If you're one of my day ones, you know some years ago I coined the phrase LOM, LOM. LOM is an acronym for League of Mammies. You all know that amongst intelligent Black society, I've heard many of you say this. Oprah is known as okra among intelligent Black society. And Gayle King, her homegirl, is known as Kale King among intelligent society. Now, many years ago, when I first started with Fly Nubian, I was on one of their other platforms on Facebook before I actually was brought to YouTube, right? So when I would talk about some of the inconsistencies, for example, with Michelle Obama at the time, because the Obamas were in office when I was with the network, when I started with the network. And then, God forbid, I get to talking about Oprah and stuff like that. People who I consider to be heroes initially, or people that have some attributes that one could actually admire and perhaps even emulate. I never got stuff twisted. Because something looked good, I don't get stuff mixed up like that. And that's the problem that the powers that shouldn't be have with me. So I came up with this phrase, LOM, League of Mammies, because there is a pattern specifically of powerful Black women that are strategically and intentionally placed in certain spaces and on certain platforms, watch this, to misdirect, misprogram, and mislead. And they were given hella bones and biscuits to do so. Did you hear what I just said? I said they were given bones and biscuits to do so. I named them that because they are Black looking individuals in high spaces and places that are actual saboteurs and obstructionists. And of course, your open enemy benefits, and they save a lot of money and, in fact, bloodshed when they get someone that looks like us to mislead us. When white supremacy and when the oppressive class and forces have someone they can hide behind to do the dirty work, how many of you all know that they get to look like the good guy? They get to save money and resources because they get you to do it. Because number one, we're complying and listening and giving audience an ear, and our guards are down when we're dealing with somebody that looks like us. See, when you deal with a friendly face, your guard is down. But when you're able to quickly and easily recognize your enemy, of course, your guard is going to be up. And a part of your own undoing happens, your undoing happens with your own complicity. You understand? Because you believe that individual, you listen to that individual. They made you believe that something that they were promoting, something they were involved in, voting for someone this way, seeing someone that way, giving white supremacy, giving the oppressive forces cover. You go along with the thing not knowing that you're being led into a ditch. So when you're dealing with someone like a Vicki Dillard who uses alternative media that they initially laughed at, remember? This was something to snicker about. Who is that lady with all that hair and braids and screaming and hollering? Who's that lady bamming the gavel? And then 5 minutes later, you got powerful people listening, upset, blocking, listening, responding, and trying to obstruct. That should have told you everything that you needed to know. Vicki, why do you say that? I heard some years ago Minister Farrakhan say that you know a powerful man, not just by his friends. You will know them by their enemies. Lord, have mercy. Somebody talk black to me. Y'all know the Vicki show is the home of the hand claps and the gavel raps, baby. This is where we got it going on. I had a revelation of the gavel, 17, 18 plus years ago now. And I brought it to social media because I'm a part of a spiritual court and an authority. And I brought it here because I wanted you to know that our word matters. So what I want you all to understand quickly as I give you this news, and again, for those of you, like one of the sisters just said, Vicki, I'm one of your day ones. And you all know that I have done very detailed video essays, commentary on Oprah Winfrey's suspect and provable connections to sexual predators and offenders that are in high places. We're not just talking about somebody that's in an alley scratching something somewhere. We're talking about her connections, her apparent connections. Y'all know I'm real careful about my language because I do commentary on different platforms. I'm extra careful, even though some of you say, well, Vicki, say this, let me tell you something. I'm going to give you the truth in a form that you can receive it, but sometimes you got to read through the lines because we're still using multiple platforms to get our message out. Why am I using multiple platforms? Because this is where you are. I have my main platform at VickiPlanet.com, which is my website. VickiDillard.tv, my own YouTube channel, but I also give commentary here, give commentary on another a platform, as well as using other platforms to seed my message, as well as print media. Where was I going with this? I told you early on that this woman was LOM, a League of Mammy members. What do I mean by League of Mammy? I told you all that she was specifically given bones and biscuits. She was specifically put in a position, in a place as a Black woman. When we say bones and biscuits, we're trying to tell you that they're incentivized. People that are supposed to be for us, people that look like us, we use that phrase bones and biscuits here because they're incentivized to do the work of the oppressive class and to undermine Black people. I have done lengthy commentary exposing Oprah and this man named David Geffen, exposing Oprah and how she did dirty Michael Jackson almost 10 years after his death. And some speculate murder. I said some speculate with credible information. I've given you much information to show you over the years how she used her platforms to be a virtual white woman. That was her greatest appeal, and that's where she made most of her money, while she simultaneously undermined Black people, while she simultaneously covered for sick, oppressive forces that assisted her in her rise as a media mogul. Why am I bringing this up? Because I'm right. I was right then and I'm right now. Now, because Oprah is constantly being exposed now by folks that some of you all like and love, like Dave Chappelle types who exposed her as a handler. How many of y'all remember Vicki's detailed broadcast on that? Didn't I show y'all? Didn't I take y'all back with the footage when she cut him off and shut him down? Didn't I? How she did Monique, but Monique actually came out and said it. The thing about it is when I'm telling y'all stuff long time ago, and I put a certain emphasis on something, you think it ain't really all that important because white mainstream media ain't talking about it. Let me tell you something. What I talk about is what ought to be talking about. There are strategic reasons for that. There are principles and points inside of topics and story that I'm driving that are not always apparent, but you can't be that slow, family. Because white mainstream media, this media apparatus, is the modern false prophets. It is the main means of controlling the masses. Intro, why do you put all those weird emojis in the chat like that? Don't do that, beloved. Put something in there that's relevant. Thank you. Now listen. So now that people who have mega super celebrity names in Hollywood are talking about it, and now that we're seeing a nonstop pattern between Oprah and Gayle being exposed, and it being nearly impossible for them not to have known that they were part of something this sick and twisted. Now folks want to say, oh, maybe Vicki was onto something. You can't be that slow. And you got to start giving credibility with the quickness, thinking, and action to the stuff that I say. Thought and wonder to why is she talking about that? And what can you do with the resources and the skills that you have and the spheres of influence that you control or contribute to? Your mind always needs to be thinking about what you can do about that. Don't be DMing me, emailing me, commenting to me about just stories from mainstream media. If you're not going to message CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, and the others, Revolt TV, Essence, and the rest of them, that's on you to say, have you listened to Vicki Dillard? This is not an ego thing for me, baby. This is because I know what I'm doing in this time, and it is for your good and ultimately the good of the world. You slow walk me, you slow walk yourself. And at every turn, I keep being proven to be exactly right and relevant with what I'm talking about. Not stuff that you can listen to this person over here say, well, that was good, that was interesting. Why is she talking about this now? Why is she packaging this message like this now? If in one thing that I say, am I exposing multiple things at the same time? Your spiritual discernment, your spiritual senses have to be sharpened and heightened because we're at war and you ain't got time to be that slow. And that's why one of the reasons I agreed to go ahead and restart Club Vicki, my spiritual school. The link is right there. It's a very, very affordable price. But I teach you spiritual principles because everything you see came from everything you can't see. And Black family, because we are surrounded by multiple enemies and multiple weapons with multiple agendas, known and unknown. Stuff that you cannot know without the assistance of an unseen government. This is what's going to not only teach you who you are so that you can gain more profit, power, and purpose in every area of your life, but you can be a part of the remaking of the worlds. You are the new world rulers. You're the new history makers. You're the ones that's going to shatter glass ceilings. And you can only do it spiritually. I didn't say religiously. I said spiritually. Because your essence is spirit. So you better click that link, clubvicki.com. Now I'm done with that. Let me read this to you. How many of you all have seen in the news lately what's been going around that for the umpteenth time, one of Oprah's white, and in this case, this is a Brazilian healer, but you all know a lot of the Hispanic or Latino folk and those that are within those classes, they like to say they're white Latinos, white Hispanics, and all this kind of stuff. How many of y'all remember this John of God character that Oprah was pushing? Y'all remember that? Let me turn it this way. How many of y'all remember him? That's right, Barbara. Spiritual alchemist, baby. That's what we're taught to be. And if you all think for 1 second it's an accident If you think for 1 second that it's an accident that Oprah was pushing spiritual stuff and that she was given a high place and a seat, an elevated place and a seat, y'all don't understand how power works. These are spheres that she had influence so that she could influence you. Are y'all catching that? The powers that shouldn't be, the people that they're behind, the people that they raise up, it's for a reason. Oprah was not, baby, no disrespect, but there was no extracurricular brilliance going on, except for your ability to bend low, real low to white supremacy. That was an extraordinary skill that I have to give her credit for. This is the headline. Y'all see it? Oprah spiritual healer, John of God, receives 99-year sentence for trafficking operation. Y'all listen, everybody hit that thumbs up button. Share, share, share. So when I told y'all years ago that she was suspect, when I told y'all years ago that in some of these cases she intentionally and knowingly was promoted, raised up, and elevated to work with these sick, twisted, white, powerful men and their systems to get them cover, to grant them cover, and to simultaneously take down the Black family with the specific emphasis of Black men, and she would be rewarded. The piece says, and this is a recent piece, family, in a stunning turn of events, and I'm going to give him the Mississippi pronunciation. Joao, I know that's wrong. I just know it, but it's right for the dictionary. Joao Texera De Ferreira, widely known as John of God, and Oprah's former spiritual healer, has been sentenced to 99 years in prison after being found guilty of heinous crimes, including sexual assault. I'm not going to say the word because of the algorithms and stuff, picking up stuff. The R word. Y'all know what I'm talking about? So I'm going to call it sexual assault and abuse against over, are y'all ready for this number? Are y'all ready for this number? Over 600 women and girls. Family, this is after this man was already originally found guilty on some stuff and already under investigation. I'm going to give you some receipts. Shockingly, further investigations have revealed his involvement in a baby trafficking operation where newborn children were sold to childless couples. Remember a few minutes ago, I asked you all how many of you all heard this in the media? Most people that I have talked to said they haven't heard it. And that's why I'm doing this broadcast, because I'm trying to show you how they work. Mainstream media is covering for Oprah. Oprah made her living off of scant and scandalous accusations, operations. This whole notion when they start pushing Black men being on the DL and all that kind of stuff. Do you all know that Oprah was a big part of that? Whenever they get ready to drop something, when they started pushing alternative lifestyles, baby, be who you want. But when they started pushing it real, real hard, specifically geared toward Black folks and shaming Black folks because you didn't agree with that lifestyle, ain't nobody trying to stop you from living your life. Ain't nobody trying to discriminate against you. But when we saw that there appeared to be an agenda, don't forget, many years ago, many decades ago, it was Oprah that started to see that. And remember, her career was at its height for dang near 25 years. Don't y'all forget that. When Gail got in trouble not too long ago for disrespecting our brother Kobe Bryant, how many of you all know that before Kobe was even buried, Gail took her funny looking self to one of his very good friends' house, Lisa Leslie, the beautiful Black, legendary female basketball player. She decided to use his death as an opportunity to disrespect him over a case with a white girl, a sexual assault case that never came into fruition. He was never found guilty of it. That was dropped. It was ended. But Gail brought that up upon the announcement of this brother's death. And shout out to our sister, Lisa Leslie, that put Gail in her place during that interview. She made her look like the fool that she totally is. But that's not Gail's first time doing that either, when she tried to make a fool of R. Kelly. Now, because people already know that R. Kelly has some suspect ways and was already being looked at amongst Black society as anathema, the white supremacists piled on, and so did some of you silly Negroes. Some of you talked about R. Kelly more than you did your open enemy. He was able to hide behind that. And they used Black faces to get high ratings, make their networks a whole lot of money, undermine Black people, and be a cover for white oppressive forces. Are y'all hearing me? Drawing from information, the article says, obtained from major news outlets and reputable sources, the gravity of his crimes becomes apparent. The accused operated in Brazil, where young girls were reportedly held captive in isolated farms, enduring unimaginable abuse and being forced to produce babies. Heartbreakingly, these victims were reported to be murdered after 10 years of giving birth. The revelations of his actions are both chilling and disturbing. One activist whose tireless investigations led to his arrest has spoken with women from Europe, the US, and Australia who admitted to purchasing Brazilian babies for as much as $50,000. Now, family, it's much more to this, but I'm bringing this up and I'm taking you back. I'm going to give you this Reuters piece. Look at this Reuters headline. Look at this Reuters headline. That headline says what? Brazil miracle healer profiled by Oprah to face sexual assault trial. The part that you probably didn't get was this is from January of 2019. I'm saying that even when Oprah left the Oprah show, remember she had all these other offshoots on and a whole bunch of other things that she was doing. Certainly, many speculate that she was aware of some of these different things that were happening, even when she was interviewing him on some stuff, or she had heard rumors about this and that and all this kind of stuff, or was able to, but simply chose not to because she's fed who she's supposed to push. And Oprah turned a blind eye to serve the interests of her white, powerful paymasters. This is why she's complicit. So you, all your homegirls, all these Black women out there that came from me when I was discussing some of the problems of Michelle Obama years ago when her husband was in office, when I was calling out Oprah and stuff, when folks was coming for me, you all felt that she was untouchable. People were coming for me calling her my auntie Oprah. Now she's doing a remix. What's the name of that silly movie? Color Purple. Why are they doing Color Purple right now? Why is she getting all these Black women all of a sudden around her? Why is all of a sudden, after disrespecting and dogging Black men, she did a little series out there trying to talk about how Black men are the most caring fathers and trying to downplay and trying to correct the records about anti-Black male stereotypes. How many of you all remember when she was called out about her connection to Harvey Weinstein and her apparent and alleged connections to Epstein? But even those that are calling out Epstein, her connections, her apparent, I'm being very careful and judicious, her apparent connections to Epstein and for sure Harvey Weinstein. Remember, she stayed quiet about it early on when they were calling her out, especially about Harvey. She was forced to make a statement on that, right? But the mainstream media and nobody even in the grassroots sector was doing it like I was doing it, calling out her connection with David Geffen. David Geffen is a powerful LGBT Hollywood character who had very close connections with the Clintons. He was beefing with Bill Clinton because when Clinton was in office, how many of you all remember that Bill Clinton was known for that military policy that was called Don't Ask, Don't Tell? So if you were gay or something in the military, to strike a deal that wouldn't discriminate against homosexuals or LGBTQ, but at the same time not promote or give them specific rights or make other folks uncomfortable, he came up with the policy where he called "Don't Ask, Don't Tell." And that's literally what they were supposed to do in the military. You don't ask if you are part of the LGBTQ, and you don't tell. Well, his political buddy, who spent the night in the White House multiple times, David Geffen, was pissed because he felt that he wasn't pushing it hard enough. So years later, among other things, let me be clear, among other things, but this was a big part, he got back at Bill Clinton because Bill didn't push for a full-fledged LGBTQ law. He struck a deal, a compromise, which was no, don't ask, don't tell. So years later, when Bill Clinton's wife got ready to run, and everybody and their mama thought Hillary was a shoo-in for the presidency, this obscure black man with a strange name, Barack Hussein Obama, who spoke at one of the Democratic conventions, took the world by storm. They big up that event. Obama early on was not even thinking about running for president. He later admits that he got a message from this man named David Geffen, and David Geffen told Obama, "You're going to run for president, and I'm going to back you." Obama basically laughed him off, told him no, he wasn't. Who ended up being right? Who ended up running for presidency? Who ended up securing the presidency of the United States as the so-called first black president? Who was one of Obama's top donors? David Geffen. But David Geffen, suspect, powerful entity out there in Hollywood, controlling a lot of the media and the music industry, was said to be the #1 enemy on Michael Jackson's list of enemies. And according to one excerpt from this book, Michael and Me, this writer notes that David Geffen made a pass at Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson said, "Look, I like women. I ain't into men." According to this piece in the book, Michael and Me, he was offended. And it is said, based on credible information that I also provided from scholars like Dr. Wesley, this is when David Geffen went about involving himself in the undoing, and some say the taking of the life of our brother Michael Jackson. So when all of a sudden out of nowhere we started hearing the media go crazy, calling our brother an idiot, calling him a nut, connecting him, saying he was doing all this stuff with voodoo and this, that, and the third, and then trying to say that he liked boys and little things like that. From intelligent scholars, they're saying that this was all planned, and they're saying that David Geffen had a big hand in it. I did a whole piece on this years ago. Look it up. Oprah was a part of all this. And almost 10 years after Michael Jackson, of course, Michael Jackson was found completely not guilty. We know that the feds didn't have nothing on it because the feds investigated Michael Jackson for years and didn't come up with nothing. And even with the state case, he prevailed. Watch this. Almost 10 years after our brother's death, some say murder, she turns around and gives audience to his incredulous accusers, these white boys. And then she goes to talking about what, family? I did a whole piece on this years ago, a couple times. She celebrated her birthday in St. Bart's. Her and Gail and some other folks. Let me get this stuff off of here. That's her on the yacht with David Geffen and Gail, and there was some more folks that were there. Y'all see them? To celebrate her birthday, she's out there watching the documentary on Saving Neverland. Netherlands. Are y'all hearing me? After that is when she does the interview with his lying accusers. Did you all hear what I just said? That's how she celebrated her birthday on the boat with David Geffen, watching Leaving Neverland. I said it wrong the first time. Y'all hit that thumbs up button. Share, 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 please. So, how is it that Oprah was forced to make a statement because of her connections with Harvey Weinstein? There seems to be apparent connections with Epstein. Her connections with Michael Jackson's #1 enemy, David Geffen. There are many other suspect circumstances, situations she found herself in. But in the latest specific one we're talking about, thank you, Derek, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. But in her latest is this John of God character. The question now is, are they going to start to investigate Oprah? Exactly. Somebody said Hillary, somebody said, oh, slick Willie Clinton. Exactly, beloved. There's so much more I want to say. But when I was saying years ago, before this information came out, well, some of the information was clearly already out there because it was 2019 about this specific John of God character. But I'm talking about her connection to David Geffen and how a lot of this information I was providing to the public seemed to show that this was a coordinated thing, the people that she was connected to undo, specifically Michael Jackson and other Black men, and that Oprah had certain knowledge of it. There's more I want to say, but I've got to get ready to run right now, family. But I want you all to say to yourself, why is mainstream media silent about this right now? When very likely Oprah's butt should be under investigation. Remember how Oprah used to get a bad reputation for making people sign those non-disclosure agreements, which I believe is appropriate in some instances to make folks sign non-disclosure agreements. But folks were talking about how ironclad they were and some other things that were surrounded by it. Baby, no. I'm all about that life, that when you are supposed to be dealing with certain people, especially in this day and age where everybody and their mamas, daddies, husbands, wives, children, bosses, employees, everybody's trying to run to the internet. Lying, mismatching, putting misinformation out there, cutting up information. Some of them telling the truth, and some of y'all lying. Putting out information without the proper context, without the previous information. So I'm sure there was a concern. But what was the concern? Was it the concern was because she legitimately thought that some of her content or some of her rights to the Oprah show and all that might be compromised? No. Or was it something else? Was it to make sure that they didn't go public about some of Oprah getting phone calls and demands and getting her orders from the likes of Harvey Weinstein? Do you all know that we put so much pressure on Oprah about why is it that she was so silent about Harvey Weinstein when we have all this proof of their connections and a whole bunch of other stuff? When she finally came out about it, Oprah tried to flip the script and say that Harvey Weinstein bullied her. How do they bully a billionaire? That's your show, remember? Oprah, you dog Black women like Ayanna Van Zandt. You humiliated our people publicly. She was privately trying to reach out to you to apologize for something that she really didn't do nothing wrong. But you're saying he bullied you. No. Oprah was giving us the information of how she was being controlled willfully. And she was okay with all them biscuits. She was okay with dogging Black people. And she was okay with turning a blind eye to sick behaviors that they were engaged in to ensure that her seat would remain secure and that she would continue to be Oprah Winfrey. back to me. I'm bringing this up because I've been talking about this for a while, but I want you to pay attention to who's not talking about this. All the black women that's a part of the sororities calling her Auntie Oprah. All the folks that was coming at me trying to say you just hating. Why you sitting here talking about Oprah? Oprah's done so much good for the world. You better open up your eyes and recognize when there is a saboteur, when there's a plant, when there's a fraud among us. And you better start opening up your mouth and calling it out. And then you need to be calling out, quote unquote, mainstream media, mass media, to say, why isn't this on every cover and every story? Why isn't the Joyless Reeds discussing this kind of stuff? Why isn't Anderson Cooper's funny looking self making this the main story? If this was anybody else that had these undeniable connection to some of the most powerful people, to some of the sickest people. How many of y'all remember when Oprah took shots at Bill Cosby? Y'all think about that. No wonder they were setting up all the black men in the media trying to make it look like he had assaulted so many folks and did this because, once again, trying to cover for the powers that shouldn't be. Somebody said Chris Brown too. Y'all better wake up, and you better stop being slow when your sister with the curly braids brings something to your attention. And when I tell you it's by design, and it's absolutely no accident. These are people that have direct access and control to music, to hip hop, to all forms of media, print and television, mass media. These are folks with direct connection to the White House and to your Congress folks, and with international figures. They do geopolitical business. And they situate her there. You better start reading through the lines. And if you were wise, continue to support folks like the Vicki Show and Vicki Dillard. By the way, follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Be sure to subscribe to my channel at VickiDillard.tv. Share this broadcast, everybody. And again, if you want to tap into your supernatural powers, it's going to make us a formidable force against all of our open enemies. Battles that we don't even know that are being schemed against us. You better tap into your supernatural powers. Join Club Vicki today. The link is above or in the description box below. I'm your sister with the curly braids, Vicki Dillard. I can't wait to see you again.